and this is My Slovak Experience.
Hi everyone, welcome back to My Slovak Experience podcast. Today I'm joined by Ewelina Agata Zbyszynska, also known as Evi. She is a Polish woman who came to Slovakia about 12 years ago to look for something that she says she could not get back home, an engaging job in a fair country. What followed was her life-changing Slovak experience, from Zilina to Bratislava, from a call center staffer to a project leader for complex infrastructure in a multinational company. What are Evi's Slovak dreams and Slovak nightmares? Listen to the podcast to find out. Enjoy. And thank you a lot for listening. Ewelina Agata Zbyszynska.
Almost correctly.
Almost correct. Oh gosh. Anyway, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
So how do you pronounce it correctly?
Ewelina Agata Zbyszynska.
Zbyszynska, okay. That obviously comes from Poland, I would say.
Yes.
Okay. So Ewelina, how much of Slovakia is in you?
Here from, if I count correctly, for 2006, so almost 12 years.
Long time.
Yes. Initially, that was a plan which I think most of the people going over here to Slovakia to be like 1, maybe 2 years, and then come back to the country which they're from. It didn't happen for me, from maybe obvious reasons at that time. For me, means there wasn't much in my area where I'm from in Poland offers for young people.
Mm-hmm.
Either you work for money of a student, being full-time employed, or you just try to find somewhere else, something maybe within Poland, maybe outside the country. At the time, actually, 2006, I think 2005, 2006 was years when a bunch of Polish people were actually migrating to other countries, mainly to England. I wasn't that person saying, okay, England is my top priority, I want to go over there, because already my family was there and I didn't want to work in the factory.
Okay. Because that was the only option if you went to England?
At the time, yes, mainly they wanted people to work like factories or some jobs which were not paid the best for English standards, but for Polish people it was like, wow, a lot of money. I'm not judging anyone. Everyone is taking their own chances and everything, but I didn't thought about myself that I want to do the factory job or whatever the job, standing 12 hours maybe in one place or even more in certain cases. So I was like, okay, let me find something, whatever the country is around the Poland. I was looking pretty much on the map, and let's try to send the CV. And Slovakia was one of it. And I just sent the CV. And I was like, okay, let's see. Let's see what happened. Yeah.
So you came to Slovakia for opportunity, basically, to look for opportunity.
I got actually an offer. But the company one of the companies come back to me saying, yeah, we'd like to see you on the interview. First, there was a state of shock. That anybody actually from that part of Europe came back saying, we want to see you. And the other state of shock was then they were saying, but we want to see you like in the workplace. So I was like, how the heck I'm going to get myself out of current job, taking a day off and travel 700 kilometers approximately. Then it was maybe a little less. It was around 400 something, but still a lot. And got for that interview. Thankfully, my dad was golden, and he's golden still to me. But then he was just, okay, let's go. I'll drive you. I'll take you. And we went together. My sister as well went with us, and went for interview.
So you're originally from like the northwest of Poland?
Yes.
So
60 kilometers from Poznan, exactly.
Okay. So that means that there is no direct highway through here. There is a bit of...
No. It's still until now the way how we need to drive over there for visit to see my parents or whomever from the family. It's still dreadful. Means you have partially highway, then normal road, then highway, then again. So sometimes it takes even 12 hours. At least from Bratislava, yeah. Then when that job came, the job opportunity was actually in Zilina, so it was easier.
So it was close.
Yeah, it
but
was.
But once you're in Zilina, then you're everywhere in Slovakia.
From Zilina, it was a little bit easier because I just need to go to Wrocław with a train, and then from that train to another train. That's it. But from Bratislava, it's now pretty dreadful.
Yeah. I noticed actually it's very interesting. It's actually paradoxically easier to get to London than to any nearby Polish place, right?
Yep.
So that's weird, but yeah, it's true. It's even cheaper, right? But London, in really few bucks, you can get there, and you are in the city, and it's far away. But the connection improved in these last 12 years, I guess, right?
Oh yes, definitely. But still, it's not ideal. Though I need to praise what it is for now, because it's much better than it was.
And how did you, or how do you remember Slovakia when you first saw it? Right? When you came with your dad for the interview?
My first impression, because that was actually in the beginning of the summer, was it's damn hot. Being from the north and not having straight away, like in May, 30 degrees or even more, was a surprise. Like, hell, where am I? That was that reaction. And then when I was looking around, why am I here? When I was looking on Zilina, because it was visible, very visible. It's so different. Like the streets completely different, look different. The way how all the dynamic of the city was over there, how you drive through the city. And definitely the first thing which I went out from the car and surprises me after the weather was then they had on the streets like huge speakers, and through the speakers there was like city information going out, where is the gathering, city gathering, when it's happening, who died, who was born, and so on.
In the main city?
Yeah, in Zilina.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't know if still it's there.
I mean, I live in a kind of a little small village, and there is this kind of communication, yes.
So I was surprised in Zilina that was actually, pretty big city for Slovakia standards, and they had that back in 2006. Yeah, I'm not sure how it's now, but then they had it, yeah. And I was like, wow, this is like Poland in 80s. Because this is what my dad was saying. It was like, wow, I'm also surprised they still have that. Because in Poland, you don't see it. And of course, the trolley bus, which is, I think, maybe in 2 cities in Poland only. And the trolley bus, I was looking like it was, I don't know, state of the art. And asking my dad, do you know what the heck is this? Because I see this for the first time.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah. Back in the days in Poland, we also had it, but now you don't have that.
So it's substituted with a tram,
with
perhaps?
Trams, a lot of buses, yeah. Yeah. So that was my first like reaction, like, what's going on? Where am I? Why the heck is so hard? Why it's going on like with these speakers on the street? Yeah. So this was like first reaction.
If I understand it correctly, so basically you were going to look for a job in a country where basically in your place, in your hometown and so on, there wasn't so much job to find, and instead you found a place that looked less developed, let's say, or less, business-wise as well than where you came from. That's quite interesting. So what did you do?
Yeah.
Did you
I
went
got,
back?
No. I went there at that time, particularly for that one interview.
Mm-hmm.
And the interview went real well, and they hired me pretty much on the spot.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, let's take the chance. If I would not like it or anything, there is always place to go back and take another chance. Yeah. So what I did for, I think that was almost 6 months, when in the end it didn't work out very much. But what I did is I was working in a call center.
Mm-hmm.
They had a huge call center in Zilina for Polish speakers for one of the companies in Poland. So they pretty much were like outsourcing company for a major company in Poland.
So you used your mother tongue to
to
work priorly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that was let's say the plus of it. The minus was I didn't know the language. Slovak language, of course. So this was also fun when I, after the interview, came back already packed and everything. Had like 15 hours of drive in the train, which was on corridor because it was jam-packed. So I was exhausted. I just wanted to go to bed and don't think about anything else. Thankfully, also I was going over there during the weekend, so I had some time still to adjust. But finally, when I get out from the train, and I was like, okay, I have the address where I'm supposed to go, because the company was giving also us the accommodation, which was cool. I didn't need to think about finding the flat or anything like this. So I got the address where I'm supposed to go and get out from the train, get out and looking around on the train station. Where am I? What exactly I can go? Exact means bus, taxi, whatever. So I checked the bus, and the bus didn't went to the direction which I wanted to. So I took the cab, and the guy was asking where to. So I was like, here you go. Here's my address on the note. Here I'm supposed to go. And he was like, oh, yeah, a bunch of Polish people are living over there. I'm like, okay, this is starting fun. So yeah. And he started to speak kind of a mixture for now. Now I know it was like mixture because it was partially Polish, partially Slovak. Yeah, and I was like, okay, I think we can kind of understand each other.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I ended up over there. The guys which were already there from that call center living there, they welcomed me and everything. And first, of course, the usual question, where are you from? How much did you pay for the cab? How much they rip you off in the cab?
Yeah.
Because you're foreigner here and didn't speak the Slovak language. So probably they rip you off in the cab. And like, I don't know if they rip me off or not. That's not by default. So they're just asking about that. And then, because I was not the only one coming on at that day. First of all, they give me the accommodation, they give me the room and everything. I call my mom, and first reaction was like crying like a little baby. And now I understand that this was a bunch of things, bunch of emotions, means new place, 15 hours of travel, exhaustion, then trying to figure out first time in my life on being on my own completely without support system somewhere, being like, I don't know, a few kilometers away from me. And I just cry like a baby for 15 minutes. Then I went for sleep. And guys which were there like knock on doors asking, do you want to go for the barbecue? We have like a bunch of people coming in the same day.
Oh, yeah, because it was summer, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to have a barbecue and so on? I'm like, okay, let's go. Yeah. And my mom, I think, called me like 2 or 3 hours after the first call, concerned, checking on me, and I was like laughing aloud, like, mental, going from stage of crying now to laughing. She's like, what's going on? I'm like, now I'm good. I'm really like, I think it was the stress and everything. I'm like, I'm okay. It's fine. Don't worry. Yeah. On Monday, I'm going to work and we'll see. So during that weekend, I just catch up with the people which I supposed to work from Monday, getting to know them, pretty much having fun, and then on Monday,
first day of job.
First day of job, straight away going, and and I remember from that days that I was very surprised by how many Polish people was working in that call center. I think that was around 30 plus people in total, and everybody, working on the headset, on the phone, calling. And also, what was different from maybe not normal job for the call centers, we worked. Actually midday shift. So around 1 p.m. we started the shift, and we end up around 9:30. Yeah. So that was also the different way how the things went day by day. And because of that also, I think that at times in Zilina I count as my kind of study the work place, how it can go bad or good or whatever, because it didn't felt in the end of the day much of work because of because of the interaction which we had
so
with
there were
the people.
many people, but also I would say that did you also interact with people from Zilina or Slovaks, or they were mostly Polish around?
That
what was
100%, almost 100% Polish people.
Okay.
There wasn't much of the Slovaks over there. If there's someone speaking Slovak, usually the person was back from Poland and living for a long time in Slovakia. That was, I think, 3 months or almost 3 months when I was there for that job. And as sometimes happens with this kind of companies, they shut it down. Yeah, they shut it down, so people needed to find another job, and that's how I end up pretty much in Bratislava.
So instead of going back home, you like the Slovakia.
I was like, okay, let's don't go back. Let's go maybe to Bratislava, to the capital. Maybe it will be different. You never know. Especially people which we worked with, they were already in the process of interviews and giving the tips where to go. Guys, try here and so on. Yeah. So I was like, okay, let's try it. Yeah. And end up with another company, which was this kind of type of company. Still, I think, on the market, but probably not doing the same stuff. I'm not sure. But that was, again, another call center for, at that time, an airline, which is no longer on the market.
Okay.
It was low-cost airline. And I really, if I bundle up that first 6 months in Slovakia, I can tell that it's not the same as it was later on. But later on, I feel like, okay, I'm now an adult on my own. I have a work, this kind of stuff. That 6 months was rather, in a way, a holiday with a bunch of people, interaction parties after the work and so on. Yeah. So now that I can tell it's not always like this, that you have a job, you go after the work is done, you just go straight away to have, like, I know, go to movie, go to pub, sit down. It's completely different now than it was before.
But you were on your own, so I guess you had no any kids to take care of,
No,
bring to school,
no,
or
no.
family to visit,
No.
or husbands, or
No.
partners, or anything around. So in this case, and were also people with you, like, in a similar situation, like just they came alone to Zilina?
Some of them, yes. Some of them had families, but majority of them were actually like single or had a partner which actually moved with them.
Mm-hmm.
I met my husband actually in Zilina, so paradoxically.
So in the first 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Life-changing experience that was.
Completely. So yeah, I can tell that my decision to move from a small city in Poland to unknown territory, now after the years, I can tell it was life-changing and completely changed my mindset, how I approach things, how I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not that person from, again, saying small city, because it's really like small city from where I am. It's 12,000. It's not that much in the end of the day. Pretty much everybody knows each other.
Mm-hmm.
And a mindset as well, it's completely different. I was very scared, very introvert. I had a bunch of anxiety back then. And I just didn't want to have that anymore. I didn't want to feel like in that way. So I decided to, okay, let's just do something with it. Yeah. And thankfully I did it. Because otherwise probably I will go nuts. In a way, yeah.
What is there anything in particular that you liked about being in Slovakia? So if you remove the Polish experience, right, in this case, but about being in Slovakia from that, was there anything particularly different or appealing or interesting that you noticed?
So I can tell exactly that after 6 months I went back actually to Poland for some time, for like 3 months or maybe more, and again back to Bratislava. And in between, I discovered that actually here, Bratislava felt more like home than home.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I decided to go back. And what I like it is the pace of things, how quick and in the same time slow it can go. Quick means how things can rapidly change from day to day, but so in a way that you're not in the rush of, okay, I need to maintain my job.
Yeah.
I need to do that. There's no need much of it. You do stuff because you wanted to and because you're actually somehow empowered by the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that that's for everybody. That's completely only my experience that at the time, and also now I can tell I don't have much of be pushed by environment around me to be like the best of the best. I need to be on the top and so on. It's not like a race. So this is what I like it. I don't need to race and rush myself because of the environment around me, because of city where I'm living in. It's pretty easy to I think to live over here. You don't have the expectation from the people around you to have that rush all the time. Yeah.
And what about the Slovaks relationship, right? So because I imagine when you had a small group of people of your own nationality, right? Then you're part of a group. But when you go to the shop or you live around, or
well, in that last job, actually in 2007, 2008, we had also the Slovak people on the floor. So we're interacting, but it was as well different because those guys had some experience with international environment.
Mm-hmm.
So it was really different. There were very much of diversity over there. But in a shop, completely different. On the street, completely different. Suddenly I discovered that from where I'm from, we don't say much of good day, how are you to a stranger passing by living in the same building, for example. Same in elevator. I'm not sure if I ever, being in Poland, did that. In Slovakia, when you do not do that, they're looking at you like you, come on, you don't have a tongue to say like "Dobrý deň." So that was also like, why that person who doesn't know me, I see for the first time saying to me "Good morning" or "Good day." So I was like, okay, this is weird. This is strange. And the same in the shop. There was more interaction between a client and the person through the counter over here. So I was surprised. Well, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in Poland. It is, but it's much more than the usual. That I was maybe used to.
But like that means attention to the client, or more like talking about whatever, or what's the
reactions like not necessarily the positive one.
okay.
Like why you don't told me that you want to pay with a card? Do I need to? There is no note, nothing. Yeah, but we have a strange system, and I'm not supposed to know about that.
No, it's your fault.
Yeah, it's your fault. And this kind of, approach from the people in the bar and so on, like, and this is what I'm always saying to the people coming over here. Be prepared for not the best customer service, unfortunately. Even now, though it's better when I came in over here, but it's still not that the best. Means the beginnings of me being here in Bratislava was like, why the people are screaming at me that I'm not taking from the server the plate. Shouldn't supposed to put the plate on the table. Why my pint still with the beer, it's taken. I'm finished. So this kind of small things, after a time you discover that why they're doing this. Yeah. Positive side of that is that I got numb on certain things. So when I go to Poland and back to visit, I just don't react on this kind of stuff. Maybe I should. Sometimes I do. But in general, I don't. I'm just like, let them be or whatever, yeah. But if this is like bothering another person, one person bothering another person, for example, in the shop, that's a completely different story. But from perspective of customer service, I just enjoy being in Poland then.
Okay.
But it's still in Slovakian, there is not that good the customer service, yeah.
Interesting. I think it's also part of the people, the client, are actually making or deciding which business survives and which not.
Yeah.
So if you have a bad customer service, you shouldn't go in that place because of that, let's say. Or if you go to a restaurant and at 12 and the menu is finished, then just complain about it, right? People should learn to make more portions of that if it's particularly wanted. Instead, here you see that usually clients try to go even earlier to make sure to not miss the menu instead of not going there anymore.
Yeah,
right?
now
So
you remind me about the lunches.
That's the client part, and we should all, as a client, expect good service.
Correct. Now you remind me really about the lunchtime. That was also a surprise. I'm like, why people are going for lunch at 11:30? I had like breakfast at 9. 2.5 hours is not enough to get hungry.
Yeah.
So people were looking at me on the beginning. Why are you not going on lunch on 11:30 to 12? Because I eat usually around 2 lunch. 2, 3 was usually for me the lunchtime. So on the beginning also the Slovak people like, well, no, you can't, it's late. After like 3 we're leaving the office. I'm like, yeah, that's the case. You eat the lunch and then you leave the office. This was the way how I was used to. So now it's switched a little bit after the years.
You get used to that.
Yeah, but still not going on 11:30 for the lunch. It's still too early for me. Yeah, and about the lunches also, as you mentioned, I think around 1 usually there's nothing to put on your plate when you go to the canteen. Which is an odd situation when you have mentioned by the canteen that you're open till 2. Yeah, but at 1 there's nothing to be found. Empty plates most of the times. Yeah.
But you get served quickly.
Yeah.
You go later.
No, yes, ma'am, yes, we have open till 2. Unfortunately, we cannot serve you anything. That's it.
There is always a schnitzel under the counter for everyone. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that also in Poland there was a different experience. I thought it was more of a cultural in the Central Eastern Europe, but
it's different.
It's different.
It's so close, but it's so different. Yeah.
That's interesting.
And still now when you go to Poland, when we're speaking about customer service, you're treated definitely in a nicer way than here. I'm just generalizing. I'm not saying everywhere. But you're just treated like, okay, you're welcomed. Straight away from when you're passing the door, you're welcomed into that place. Here I need to find the places where it was like that I actually went out and I felt good that I went out and sit down, have coffee or whatever. But it happened at the beginning when I was just like, okay, there is probably nowhere where I can go for a good food with good atmosphere and so on. It took a really long time to find the places with food which I like and with a good atmosphere. Yeah. And also the food was food on the beginning, and now still it's a surprise. It's a different.
So what's the favorite food in Slovakia from you? Coming from a very similar cuisine, I would say.
In Poland you have depends on the region. Here as well. So surprisingly I like halushki.
Why are you surprised?
Because the first time when I saw that on my plate, I was like, this is just like bunch of goo. What's that? And then I tried. I'm like, okay, it's good. It's nice. But that's why I was surprised. It doesn't look very much of anything, and has a really nice taste. At least for me. I know people, and even from my family, when they were visiting, they were like, no, thank you. I will pass that. And what else from food, like on day-to-day basis? When I was still eating meat, because now I'm vegetarian, but before I loved the ribs. I don't know what and how they get mastered it over here, but pretty much all of the places in Bratislava, there are good ribs. Yeah, especially in one particular place, which my family, when goes over here again, is like they are like, we are going for ribs first day.
But it's interesting because this way of cooking ribs, it's more, first they're boiled and then they are baked, right? It's with this particular sauce, and it's I didn't experience it in a home. It's usually not a home food. I know that the family serves it to you,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
like it definitely you see in many places and pubs and areas. Yeah.
At home, we used to do that, but in not that particular way. We just, go on the barbecue and that's it. But over here, when I discovered that, I was like, okay, this is good stuff. Yeah. So yeah, first day of when my family visiting, ribs, tour.
But there are several, for example, there are a lot of pirochy here as well in
Which are
Slovakia.
different to Polish.
That are different to Polish because
Yeah.
they put brinza inside, right?
Yes, that's the one thing. And also, the pastry is a bit different.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know why it's different in the taste. Maybe how they're done, like the ratio of the ingredients, but it's definitely different. And I made few versions of Polish pierogi for my Slovak friends.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we love them. Why we don't have them? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why you have only one type of it served. Because in Poland you have like with the meat, with cabbage and mushrooms, with fruits, with potato and cottage cheese.
There is a culture around pierogi.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff. So, and I miss sometimes those things still. I can tell that now I am missing from Poland a good bread.
Mm-hmm. What kind of bread you like?
Typical like normal white bread without any additional spices or
Okay.
anything, because over here there's a bunch of spices. So paprika is my first spice, which I started to hate coming over here, because sausage was with paprika. Some of the breads were a little bit of that as well on the crust.
There is cumin a lot in
Yeah,
the,
and
in
oh
the-
God,
in the
please
bread,
don't.
yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Yeah. So that's still stuff which I'm missing, and the cumin in the bread was the surprise as well.
Mhm.
That was a surprise. I bought the bread and I was like looking pretty much the same as in Poland, and I took it and then I started to cut and taste. I'm like, nope, no, thank you. I will not eat that.
I wonder if it lasts more with that spice or it's just a taste.
It's supposed to be better for your digestion.
Okay. So it has a purpose, you know,
It
because
has-
I don't think it's
yeah.
like
Yeah.
nobody is craving for that particular taste, but it's more like of a additional benefit, right? It doesn't look like, yeah, look at this, there is the cumin inside. It's like, that's good bread.
I was
and
curious.
It is like that.
I was curious why it's there, so of course you go and Google stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like supposed to work for digestion, so you better digest it, yeah. But still, the taste is not okay. All in all, why I'm still here when I'm saying I don't like that much stuff, yeah.
So what do you like?
It's really small things, like a bunch of parks. You can go buy food everywhere. Everything is pretty much close. Even if you're living on, let's say, almost outside of Bratislava, like I actually am. I'm living in an area where I'm in Bratislava, but still doesn't feel as a city. Because there are a lot of greenery and a lot of small coffee shops when you can go. I have a dog, so I very much enjoy that. So going for walks, going with my dog for this kind of places where actually dogs are welcomed, which is, I think,
That's true.
new stuff over here, and not everywhere it's welcome. So yeah, small things day to day. Traffic, everybody complains about that, of course, everywhere, but that's a different story. I don't like to sit in traffic. Though if I compare to other European countries and cities, I enjoy my 40 minutes in the car. I get
Oh,
the
yeah.
coffee, sometimes even get some work done on the way. If I'm not driving, if I'm a passenger, then I'm doing some work. And that's it, yeah, from perspective of that two things which are now coming to my mind. But in general, I will come back to the pace, really the pace of living over here. It's the main thing which still says to me, okay, you need to stay there, you need to stick to it. But also my work. I love my work. If I wouldn't like it, I will pack my bags and I'm like, see ya. Yeah. So those things for sure.
So work is also like some motivation of
Yeah.
Slovakia, is it?
I am a person which needs to like particular work which I'm doing. I'm not the person which just will work because of the money. Of course, it's important to live and everything, the money wise. But now I'm at the point where I really need to have something as work to motivate me to go much further, because most of the times in the end of the day, everyone is spending their time at work. So I'd rather have a work which I enjoy to have, and spend the time with, instead of just passing through the time and doing what I don't like because I need to. Maybe that's my beef or general. I am a person which when I need to do something, I'm like, I'm not sure. Maybe. I really need to have a certain motivator for doing the stuff. Yeah.
And what about because you so living with the work you do, you think it's the Slovak experience in this is enough that it gives you, like, somebody with a job like you and as a foreigner can have a house and live and with even extras and so on?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you definitely can. You just need to be, from my perspective, I think, from my opinion, you need to be enough and motivated. You need to really want to do the things which you want to do. It's not only about the work, it's also outside of the work. Slovakia, maybe it's not so much out there with the marketing of the country to people to come in, to stay over here and work. But if you enjoy the outdoors, if you enjoy like festivals after the work, if you enjoy the summer in a way that you see the whole city is living and there's everything going around you in a way that you actually enjoy the summer in the city, but of course outside of the city as well. Means you have a lot of hot springs. This was also a great benefit to all that my experience. That anytime during the year I can go for the hot springs, relax, chill out, and yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. You can do whatever you want over here. You just need to have the motivation for that. And if someone tells you no, just go still forward. Yeah.
Did you, after 12 years, you could have taken the citizenship, right? Do you work for it?
Yeah, I did not.
Okay.
I did not, and I'm still thinking about that, if I want to do it or not. Not to go very much into political stuff, but this is also why I'm still here. Unfortunately, Poland during last 4 years or even more, looking from perspective of how politically it's impacting the people in Poland, it's sad, to say at least. it's nothing positive out of it from what I see. And also, this is another thing which says to me, okay, Slovakia is the place to be. Though when I got into discussion with the Slovak people about that, yeah, but
You have the same opinion.
but Slovakia is not that good. We have corrupted country and everything. I'm like, corruption is everywhere. And I'm not saying by that it's good. But if I will take a chance for one of the countries from those two, probably Slovakia would be the top one. Because I don't see it's impacting me personally and my surroundings that much to that extent how it's actually in Poland.
Do you follow somehow the local Slovak news or Slovak politics or anything?
Yeah.
What are your sources?
I'm checking from time to time. Usually I'm going to like international web pages first, how to see how it's going around the world, then going by the country and so on. I think that the main thing which I go to firstly, it's a Facebook. Maybe someone will not say that's the best resource of the news, but I think you have all the top news usually over there.
I think it depends. If you're passive and you wait for notification to tell you what's going on, then the selection is not organic. Like it is given by the various algorithms. But if you then go to the source, right? So you go to Facebook and BBC page, then you can get what you want, right? That's
actually, BBC is on my top international page where I go to check what's going on in the world. But for Slovakia or Poland, I usually go for the Facebook and just filter. I'm not taking everything as 100% good news. You need to have your own mind of your own. But I look what's going on, and if I really compare those two, unfortunately, how much it pains me, Poland is not the country which, as for now, I would like to be. As a young person, as a woman, I don't want to be there, unfortunately.
As a woman as well. So is it do you feel that there is more equality in Slovakia from a women perspective? Or
Yes. And you're
only
definitely
politic or also people wise?
Hard to say, because lately I didn't have that much of interaction with Poland, and by that I mean with my friends. But I don't feel over here that I'm pointed out, okay, you as a woman cannot do certain things. Which there, from what I see, it's happening. Actually, there are not that much of diverse. Putting a woman into perspective of being a wife and mainly housewife, and keeping the kids under control, keeping the raising them, not going to job. That's general message.
So that's actually a mentality from somehow the past, because everybody had these mentalities in the past.
This is rather,
but also supported by the politics.
This is governmental, position. That's why I don't want to go in much politics, because I know it's very sensitive topic. But unfortunately, they are going to the extent where it's impacting day-to-day life of every single person, and unfortunately, really in not the best way. Because you cannot generalize every single person, put it into one box, and say you need to do this stuff. Everyone it's different.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And
as far as they can choose,
yeah,
that's the important thing. Like, it's totally fine to have a family and have woman to choose to stay at home, but that should be her choice.
That's your choosing.
Yeah.
It's not because you need to, or because
If you have no other choice, then it's not good.
or because government is saying, oh, we have like this cool program for you, and we'll give you that certain money if for the kids if you're me staying at home mom. Yeah. Great, but maybe not think it through very much. I'm not sure. I'm feeling really over here very secured, generally secured, and that feeling it's priceless. I think. I don't feel that someone from the government suddenly will come over and tell me I need to do certain things because this is how the law is going to be. It seems over here very much organic.
Okay.
And the mutual respect through whatever the people are, whatever they do, whatever the orientation is over here, feels better a bit. That's why also, not also, but I think it's like general thing which is still in my mind. That's why I am here. I don't want to deal with that negativity and all that stuff. If I can somehow impact it, I will, to a certain extent, with my vote and whatever they gave me as opportunity to impact it. But in general, I wouldn't feel secure being back in Poland.
And from the other side, I have, at least it maybe is a wrong view from me, but I had this view of Poland as a very highly technological advancement. Right, there is a lot of developers, a lot of IT, a lot of investment in this area. It's a very modern from this perspective, right?
That's true. That's very true. Yet, unfortunately, it's starting to be, from a government perspective, they're trying to make a Christian country. Come on, not everybody's Christian. Why we are going back to with the time, back to Middle Ages.
So more like a not secular, but...
Yeah, and I don't get it because, as you mentioned, and I completely agree with that, Poland is very advanced within technology, I think. Very out there on the markets, and yet there is an ugly side to it, which I don't like, and that's why I'm not here. Well, that's why I'm not there, yeah.
The time of theocracy is not yet done in this world.
Yeah, really, I don't like going really into political situations saying government did that, government did other stuff. But unfortunately, it's impacting life of every person, whatever it is. Poland, Slovakia, Germany, I don't know, Europe. Now what's going on, what I see in the world, it's not that fun.
And from coming to Slovakia, did you find a kind of a more secular environment than in Poland, like from people's side?
Wow.
Everyone thinks
I never
talking
thought
about stereotypes,
about
right? But people always think Poland has the most Christian and follower, and the John Paul and so on, right?
This is what people were saying. Are you going every single Sunday to church? I'm like, hell no. I'm the last person to see in the church, except for weddings and funerals, and that's only when I'm probably over there. But no, I'm not in the church every Sunday, and that's maybe because back in the days, my one of my family members was putting me into a position where I need to, kneel down and pray every single day. When I was like, 12 or something. And at one point I said to my mom and dad, I'm not doing this anymore. And they're like, okay. And when I heard that, okay, just like that, I was like, why didn't I say that earlier? Yeah, I get it. Also, first thing in Slovakia, when I came, that was the question. You're every single Sunday at church. Why you're saying you're not Christian? I'm like, I'm gonna believe whatever I want to believe, and you're not gonna make me to go to the church every Sunday or whatever to do. And that's also what I'm saying is I see much more people on Sundays in church over here than probably I saw lately in my area where I'm from. Which is surprising.
It could be, yeah. That's an interesting
it's surprising because based on stereotypes, it should be maybe opposite.
It should be opposite, yeah. And how is your Slovak? Is you now after, like, is it fluent or do you understand fully? I mean, after 12 years, I guess.
Yes, and everybody's saying my Slovak is perfect, but I'm saying still it's not the best. It's probably because I'm kind of like language freak. I don't speak particular language out there if I am not comfortable with. Sometimes it happens at certain days. My mind is rather thinking in English or Polish, so my Slovak is like jammy a little bit. But yeah, it happened also at one meeting, or I should say rather party, when I was invited by my friends, my Slovak friends, and they had their other friends over there, and I speak with those guys, and say like, you're not Polish. They're like going into argument with me. You're not Polish. Yes, I am. No, you're not. You were born there, you have the name and everything, but you're not Polish. And it went to the point that then that guy asked me, show me your ID. I don't believe you.
So your Slovak is so good that...
Yeah, you're saying
cool.
you're good with Slovak, so show me your ID. I'm like, here you go.
But after how long did you start understanding from? Because you mentioned at the beginning that was quite hard for you at the beginning to understand it. So.
With understanding, I think after a year, it wasn't that much of a problem. With speaking, I think I started maybe after 3 years.
Did you study a bit as well, or just organic?
Yeah. I had a chance to have a teacher.
Okay.
And her reaction at the first lesson was like, what I supposed to teach you? How I write the stuff in an official way, and like maybe a little bit of grammar will help. So we did that. And it's still not perfect. It's way from perfect. But at least I don't have a problem to go for whatever it is, a bank or whatever official thing I need to write. It's still really to be worked on, but I feel at times could be better.
But definitely when you, like now, living with also understanding the local language is much easier, I would say. Right?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm pushed a little bit by my colleagues to speak a bit more Slovak. But that's because really, if you're working in an international company and you need to switch between 3 languages in 15 minutes, you're suddenly catch yourself that you're speaking in English to the person which is speaking to you Slovak. And it's like, why you don't speak Slovak? Well, sorry. Yeah. So it's kind of those things happens.
That's living. That's what it takes to live outside and
Yeah.
use several languages. Your brain sometimes just changes. What did you? What would you change if you know, about Slovakia? If there is anything you could have the power to do that, what would it be?
I'm gonna go back to customer service, which comes straight away as a first.
To make people open to customer serving and to consider customer first and customer satisfaction first.
Yeah, that's my main thing on which comes to my mind. The rest, I'm not sure if I would change anything. Without going, again to sensitive stuff which are now going in the country. And that for sure needs to be worked on. But from my day-to-day life, personally, customer service, it comes to first. Maybe within the Bratislava itself, the better infrastructure. So going from point A to B in certain areas in Bratislava, it's not that easy. Though when you look on the map, it's very close. But if you don't have a car, you're just not gonna go there without any hustle. Yeah. So RegioJet might help.
Or similar company.
Or
very well.
Or similar company. I'm saying that because I know now. They are actually having stops around the Bratislava, so they took pretty much the infrastructure over there. But whatever the company is, this kind of infrastructure to be within Bratislava will help. And not only within Bratislava, I think in general would be good to have more public transport, which takes you a little bit easier without any hustle within the city. Yeah. Don't have that much cars, because this is what it's actually takes a lot of time for certain people commuting between, let's say, the small village to Bratislava, or maybe same situation in other villages around bigger cities. Yeah.
And majority of people probably come from there as well, I would say.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Because if you take into consideration that you have this huge cities and there's not much of the people actually living in, because Bratislava on weekends, it's like half of the people are not there.
Yeah, that's true.
I get
this migration on Friday.
I get like in 15 minutes to the city center instead of 40 minutes or even an hour.
Yeah.
During the weekend, but during the week, that's a different story. Yeah. So again, customer service, better infrastructure.
Do you feel at home in Slovakia? No.
Yes. I cannot tell anything else. Yeah, it feels like home. It's not because I have my husband over here and because I have a flat and everything like that. It just feels good.
But your husband is not Slovak, right?
He's Polish.
He's Polish. During the whole 12 years you have been here, did you have? Did you feel always welcome as a foreigner, or you had any situation or anything?
No, let's say I have not been so comfortable during all those years like I am now. I had experience where I wasn't feel welcomed, and the situation where I had a conversation, for example, with my Polish friend suddenly someone came into that room, which I knew was Slovak. I don't know if the person wanted to jump in the conversation or whatever. I don't know, but I remember very vividly saying, "You're in Slovakia. You should speak Slovak." I'm like, come on, I'm speaking with a Polish person. Should I speak Slovak suddenly because we're just two of us in that room, and suddenly someone came in and wasn't in approximately like even 1 meter of us, and suddenly I hear that, and that was one of examples. The other example was in one of the banks when I went in, and then I didn't spoke Slovak yet very well. So I was okay, let's try English. I don't want to go with the Polish, let's try English. And I asked for certain things and asked for information. And the guy, I don't know if he didn't spoke English very well or something, but he was like, oh, okay, moment. Okay, let's wait. And I heard him calling for a colleague, speaking Slovak. Mind that, I already understood what he was saying.
Okay.
Speaking Slovak. Oh, that lady wants something. She's speaking English and she is foreigner. What the hell am I supposed to do? And my eyes were like big. I'm like, okay. First of all, you're on open space. That was going through my mind. Secondly, I can understand you. So whatever the tone and whatever you're saying, I can understand. And then he went through other things, means he was saying not pretty nice things, which I don't want to say, because that will be very much of cursing. And I just stand there like, I cannot believe in the bank this kind of stuff. And he went back with that colleague. She was very nice and everything, and trying to solve whatever I had. But that day I said to myself, I need to learn Slovak in a way that I will be able to respond to this kind of situation. And that I will not be felt like I'm not welcomed, and especially in this bank or whatever the place I'm going to, that I'm able really to interact and act on this situation. Because imagine you have someone which is not from like Slavic countries, Slavic group language.
That doesn't get anything.
That doesn't get it. And this also went through my mind. From what kind of, hell those people need to go through to get basic information. And the same for foreign police over here. That was a nightmare, and this is still a nightmare till now.
And you're from the European Union as well.
And I have from European Union.
Yeah.
For me, what was a nightmare to go over there, to sit over there for like hours from like 6, and they're opening at 7:30 or whatever it's now the time. And I was not like first in the row, like I was maybe 12th or 20th on over there to go into that office and to get my permanent permit card. Yeah. So I was like, oh my God, it's just impossible. Yeah. So really, if you ask me about my experience over here, there's a lot of negative things, for sure, but that's everywhere. Positive note, you need to just go through that ugly stuff, like banks, like foreign police, like dealing with the customer service in a certain place, to then suddenly see also that in general there will be people which will say to you, no, will be not nice, but Slovaks in general like pretty okay and open and everything, but you need to pass that barrier. Yeah, when you pass that barrier, there's nothing to stop, and you have really great friendships, and it's priceless. Yeah, it's really priceless. But really, you need to deal with certain things on the beginning, and
That's true.
yeah.
And there will be always closed-minded fellas
Yeah,
outside.
Of course.
And perhaps that's a very good purpose to learn Slovak for all the people that are living in Slovakia, is actually to be ready to, take that conversation, that close-minded fella might reconsider his point of view, right?
Yes.
With the right argument.
Yes. And I see that Slovaks are very feisty, and they want to be to prove the point and everything, which is good, but not always. Yeah, and this is also what I'm taking out of being here. So if I really want to fight for something, I am taking the Slovak people over there, like in my experience with Slovakia out there, because if they want to fight for something for themselves, they do, and there's nothing to pretty much stop you. So, and that's I think it's a good trait, because those people, if used correctly, they might be even one of the top of the world. Yeah. Maybe I'm a little bit exaggerating, but it's pretty good trait to have it. I don't know how it happened that 12 years passed by, because I feel it passed by just very quickly. And sometimes when someone is asking me, how long am I here? Like, first time it's meeting me, and I need to calculate in my head when I actually left home and came over here, because I think after maybe 5-6 years, I stopped counting. I was like, okay, here's my home. Here I need to deal with it, whatever it comes to me, good or bad. So let's do it. Yeah.
And when you're back home, you are a Slovak ambassador, right? In this, at least.
I'm trying to be.
That's what you're considered, or are you?
I'm trying to be. I'm not sure if I'm doing a good job, but I'm trying to be. And if anyone asks me why you're still there, like you asked me, it's because of the job. It's because of the people. And with my husband, if we wanted to, really, we could move pretty much everywhere. But because of that security, and which is given by the country in general, and mainly really the people around us, that's why we're here. And of course, we're in a way, we're not that far from our family.
How often do you go back?
I don't go back that much often, but my family comes over here. They very enjoy that. So yeah, we're usually on the holidays, like Christmas or Easter. We usually visiting over there. But there was a years where my parents and my husband's parents were pretty often here, so we didn't miss that much. And if we want to see the distant family, we, of course, back and forth. Yeah. And also the other trait which I'm always trying to convince my family is like, come over during the summer, it's nice and everything, the city is living, you have a bunch of activities around. Plus it's like 500 kilometers to Croatia, pack the bags, just go.
Oh yeah.
So that's the other thing.
So no coming here for the Christmas markets, but for the
I don't
summer.
need to tell them about the Christmas markets usually, because if they're planning to go for the Christmas to us, this is the straight road. This is like by default in agenda. We're going for the Christmas market, yeah. But mainly, if they're coming over here, they're going for the summer. Yeah, which I don't mind.
No.
I will not freeze, at least outside. I am taking the really being here in general as a very positive thing. Means I don't miss that much of my country anymore because it feels over here at home. Really, because of my work, because of my friends, and of course, thankfully, we have video calls, so I can call every single time my mom or whomever I have over there in Poland. Probably if they're hearing how this, and they will be like, okay, so why didn't you call me last time? And I'm usually saying because I'm at work and I'm exhausted and everything.
Yeah.
But still, I really like that we are not in ages when you need to wait for like letter, or you had like old type phone, just pick up the video call or mobile phone and they're there. I hope I will not be bashed by my colleagues when they will be hearing this. You said that and that. You don't like that and that, and you're still here.
Opinions are always free. And of course, the point of view are always arguable, I would say.
Yeah.
And that's where, in my Slovak experience, I'm happy to bring also other point of view from anyone,
Yeah.
right? So.
Well, I would not like to have my experience to be generalized because I'm Polish. That's because that will be the other Polish people living over here an experience. Everybody has different point of view and different experience. So it's easier life definitely over here than in Poland. That's, let's say, my main outcome of that, and that's why I'm here.
Cool. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
You can listen to My Slovak Experience directly on the website myslovakexperience.com, or subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher or Tuning Radio, or you can also find it and subscribe on YouTube.
Thank you everyone for listening to my Slovak Experience. See you at the next interview. Till then, have fun, share and enjoy.